was the first person who saw 10,000 rupees together in my 100 years of Kher family. One day I asked my grandfather, I said, दादाजी हम इतने गरीब हैं मगर हम इतने खुश क्यों हैं? तो he said, जब इंसान बहुत गरीब होता है तो सबसे सस्ती चीज़ खुशी होती है. Failure is an event, never a person. And remember one thing, भीगा हुआ आदमी बारिश से नहीं डरता.
Thank you for the time, sir. It's overwhelming to be here. Just spend 10-15 minutes looking at the awards.
Yeah, it's good. Half of them are not here.
Oh, they're still not here.
Yeah.
It's when I'm speaking with you, there are so many characters that come before me. Whether it's the cool father in DDLG or Rang De Basandi, where you tended to not like your character, but each character was so memorable that you can see it. What do you think has set you apart? That no matter what the role is, you've made your mark in the film.
My need to enjoy whatever I do in life. I think that sets me apart. I don't take myself so very seriously. To me, life is a journey. It's a heavy dialogue to say, but that's exactly because I've had a journey of 40 years now. And it took me 3 years, having been the gold medalist from drama school, to get work. I came to this city on the 3rd of June 1981, not as a very dashing looking man. I was bald. This is a very dignified, bald, sexy look. But when you lose hair in the initial stages, some of the hair go from here, some of you look, and then you came to the city in early 80s, and you wanted to be an actor. Nobody believed you. They said you become a writer or you become assistant director, but actor you can't be. So when I finally got work, thanks to my baldness in Saransh and my brilliance, it was, then I told God that I will work and I will never say no to anything. And so I think what the film that whether it is Dilwale or whether it is Khosla Ka Ghosla or Wednesday or Dr. Dang or Rang De Basanti, etc., etc. But there are so many amazing films that I have done. And there are so many not so amazing films, but I own them equally with great pride because they have been part of my journey. My idiotic, funny, stupid films, my embarrassing films, and they are I'm equally proud of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 540 films I've done. How many actors can claim? God has been very kind to me. And I'm a workaholic. I create work if I don't have work. And I enjoy doing that. I enjoy failing also. My philosophy, if you did not see that poster which says he will do anything to fail, even he will do anything to succeed, even fail. So it's how you decide your life to live.
Yeah. So, if we go back to the beginning, where you were raised, you were from Kashmir, you had very humble roots. Having said that, your father, you've always mentioned, had a very profound impact upon your life. Can you talk about some of the things that you learned as you were growing up that you still carry with you today?
So humble beginning is a very beautiful way of saying that you came from a very poor family. We have learned these new words that middle class, lower middle class, financially secure class, financially insecure class. दो ही class होती थी, या अमीर होता था आदमी या गरीब होता था. And then later on 70s में middle class came up. हम गरीब परिवार से थे. And we lived in a joint family. We had this much room, that room and this much place to live for 14 people in the family. My grandparents and my uncle, aunts, my cousins. And the only earning member was my father, who used to earn 90 rupees per month in late 50s and early 60s. But strangest part was that I always found ourselves to be very happy. So I used to say, why are we happy? We are very poor. So I one day asked and I have a photographic memory of my childhood, because in a small town you register everything. So one day I asked my grandfather, I said, दादाजी हम इतने गरीब हैं मगर हम इतने खुश क्यों हैं? तो he said, जब इंसान बहुत गरीब होता है तो सबसे सस्ती चीज़ खुशी होती है. So it took away the fear of being poor from my life.
Yeah.
I said, oh wow, हम सबसे सस्ती चीज़ खुशी है तो हम तो खुश हैं. The other thing was that fear of failure that took away. My father took away that. My father was an ordinary clerk, but I think he was an extraordinary father. He never pressurized us what to study because he didn't have time. He never knew what grade we were in, what were our marks. So one day in ninth standard, I think I used to be very bad at studies. I never got more than 38% marks in my life ever. Means till my proper graduation. Once I got into drama school, then it became different. So we had to get those report cards signed by our parents,
Yeah.
so that they know that what you have done. My mother was very strict. She used to beat me up also, me and my brother. And my father was very kind. I waited for my father to be in a hurry to go to the office, and so that I can, in a hurry, he will just sign my card.
Yeah.
And then I gave it to him. He realized that he has forgotten his key to the office. So he went back. He suddenly was relaxed and he saw my report card and he said, you are 59th in your class? I said, yeah. He said, and how many students are there? I said, 60. So I thought, now he's going to scold me. He never used to hit me. Never. So he took a pause and then he said, Ek baat to hai beta. Anybody who comes first in anything, whether in sports or in studies, he has this tension that he has to come first every time. Even when he comes second or she comes second, she or he thinks that he has been demoted. But a person who comes 59th can always come 48th, 37th, 18th, 9th. Do me a favor, next time come 48th in your class. And then after a pause, he said, remember one thing, failure is an event, never a person.
Yeah.
And I think two things. At the age of 15, you discover that the happiest thing that can happen to you is being poor, and that failure is an event and not a person. These two educations, which are the basis of how you become, were given to me by my family members, grandfather and So I have a fairy tale upbringing in terms of grandparents telling me stories of Mahabharata and Ramayana, my other friends, etc. We playing comic situations with our family members. So I used to always feel that my childhood is that of Chaplin or Maxim Gorky or all those Russian writers that, and then they became what they became.
Yeah. I have this question. DDLG is one of my favorite films. I think most people will resonate with that. The equation you share with Shahrukh in that movie, is it somewhere you
Totally, it's
portrayed?
my father.
Yeah, because even he fails in the film, and there's a celebration.
Yeah.
And saying that everybody failed and failure is an
It
event.
is directly taken from the chapter of my life.
Yeah.
Means it was there in a certain manner by Adi Chopra. But exactly the relationship that my father had with me. My father was my biggest fan. My father never worried about me failing or something like that. My father, even when I did badly in a play, in my first play, he applauded the most for me. From my first play till the last film he saw of mine, for him, Anupam was the most happening thing in the world. So much so that in Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, when I introduced my family members to Shahrukh, I told Yashji that can I take my actual uncles' names because they were as illustrious as these characters are. One of my uncles had failed eight times in 8th standard. द्वारकानाथ जी. तो मैंने यश जी को कहा मैं अपने असली चाचा ताया जी का नाम लेना चाहता हूँ. तो आई सेड ये ब्रिजनाथ जी हैं, ये 8वीं में 7 बार फेल हुए, ये द्वारकानाथ जी हैं, ये 9वीं में फेल हुए, ये पुष्करनाथ जी, दैट्स माय फादर्स नेम, ये तो 10वीं से आगे बढ़े ही नहीं. तो आई टुक एवरीबडीज नेम. एंड देन 1 week before the release of the film, we had a kind of a private show for the cast and crew. I suddenly realized, oh my God, I have taken my uncle's names and they will see the film. तो मैंने सबको चिट्ठी लिखी. मैंने कहा, I'm sorry, वो मैंने एक पिक्चर किया दिलवाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे, अगर आप वो देखेंगे तो आपका नाम है उसमें और उसमें वो कुछ मैंने ऐसी बातें बोली हैं. तो after the release, everybody wrote back to me, thank you, तुमने हमको famous कर दिया. So that was the kind of that is the closest one can come to a father-son relationship, and my father was like that. And everybody that I meet, that they say that we wish our father is like that.
Yeah.
That was a very revolutionary kind of a change in Hindi cinema, from two point of views. One was that first time the hero says that I will only take you away from me if your father gives me the permission, which is Amrish ji. And the second thing was that the father celebrates the failure of the son.
Yeah. And not reprimand.
No, not at all. I think we were made a departure from the cliche to this new thought.
Yeah. So, given that your father was such an anchor in your life, when you initially came to Bombay, you've spoken about this a lot. आपने हमसे भी interview में कहा था कि you spent nights at the railway,
platform,
the platform. What was his advice? Did he know firstly that this was your circumstance?
No. I only wrote to my grandfather for that. Because parents, I didn't want to give them grief. Because people say, तेरा हो रहा है कुछ हो रहा है. So you will stand and take a crowd picture, and in front somewhere Vinod Khanna ji will be there, and you will say, yes, I met Vinod Khanna. You have to keep their hopes alive.
Yeah.
But I did write to my grandfather in Kashmir, and I said, this is a ridiculous way of living. I'm feeling unbelievably humiliated, and I don't want to stay in this city. I want to go back to Shimla or to Lucknow or to Delhi. But this city means I'm humiliated as a person, as an actor. I'm spending my nights on a railway platform. I have to sleep at 1:40 when the last train leaves, and I have to get up at 4:40 when the first train starts. Why am I here? So he wrote back. In that letter, he wrote a line which changed my life. He said, बेटा रुक जा, तूने बहुत मेहनत की है, तेरे माँ बाप ने बहुत मेहनत की है तेरे को यहाँ तक पहुँचाने के लिए. And you've already been in Bombay now for the last 1.5 years. And remember one thing, भीगा हुआ आदमी बारिश से नहीं डरता. I thought that line was unbelievable. He was right. That मैं तो already अभी भीगा हुआ हूँ, अब मुझे बारिश से क्या डरना है? And that always stayed with me for the rest of my life. Whenever I went through bad times, I used to always think of those lines. And now I say that when you go through bad times, remember, many years later, they will become stories of your life.
Yeah.
And you will have, can you imagine a life where you've not gone through worst times, you've not gone through failures, you've not gone through ups and downs, you've not gone through obstacles. If you have not gone through all those, you've not lived life.
Yeah.
It's with everybody. Anybody who is standing here, or you, I'm sure you will remember your failures much more than your successes. Success is boring and one-dimensional.
Yeah.
I think so. I think failure is, if you taken it the right manner, it really, really teaches you so much.
Yeah.
So that's why my autobiography, which I perform on stage, Kuchh Bhi Ho Sakta Hai, is about my failures. And because as a person who was looking for work in Mumbai, I used to read a lot about people's lives, and it used to give me some kind of a courage that अरे इनके साथ अगर ये सब हो सकता है तो मेरे साथ भी हो रहा है, but I will make it.
Yeah, you will make it. So when you got the break, and after that, you mentioned that there was a landslide of roles that came your way. How did you use these lessons to kind of go forward in your career once it began?
When you have gone through so much, I was euphoric that I had made it. I was the first person who saw 10,000 rupees together in my 100 years of Kher family. First person. When I remember, for the whole film, Saransh, I had got 10,000 rupees. But the next film which I signed, called Jawani, ironically, I was given 10,000 rupees cash as the signing amount.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ramesh Bahl's office, Rose Movies, was on Linking Road, and when I put 10,000 rupees in my pocket, I thought everybody is looking at me on Linking Road because they think that I have money. And those 10,000 rupees were the most amazing amount of money. They were not finishing only. Every day my brother and I will take out money from the cupboard, and they will still remain a huge bundle will still remain. Uh, I was meeting all my life's idols whose movies I had seen. Dilip Saab, I was meeting Rajendra Kumar, I was meeting Sharmila Tagore, Maushmi Chatterjee. I bought a car, my first car, that's the only number I remember, MAP 5068. After that, I don't remember any car. So I think by chance or by deliberation, I live life. I don't exist in my life. Because having made it from scratch and from gutter to some level, it's the most beautiful feeling.
Yeah. What a turnaround.
Yeah, and फिर थोड़ा सा दिमाग भी खराब हुआ था. बहुत ज़रूरी है होना, ताकि जब आप फिर दिमाग खराब होता है तभी आप लेसन्स आप तभी सीखते हो जब आप थोड़ा सा बिखरते हो. But it's been a great life so far.
Yeah.
With all its ups and downs.
Yeah. You come from a different era of Bollywood where just so many icons at the same time. You also mentioned in your interview कि मैं बहुत ही simple इंसान हूँ. Like you don't have that entourage. You don't have that whole shebang which you today see. Let's talk about that time in your life, right? Where you were working with, say, a Shahrukh Khan. You were working with Salman Khan. You were working with Anil Kapoor, who's your close friend. What are some of the special memories you've created?
We are
during that time?
friends.
Yeah.
I can claim to be their friends.
Yeah.
We were all making it. We all had this. Nobody knew that where they will reach.
Yeah.
There was a certain amount of bonding. There was no mobile phones. There were no vanity vans. There was no entourage of this is my social media manager. This is my manager. This is my publicity guy. This is my so and so. But there was so much conversation used to happen. That's why today, when I meet these people, we don't meet very often, and they are all huge stars. There's a certain kind of emotional memory between us. There was time. Means I remember all the films that I did with Shahrukh or Aamir or Salman at that time, or for that matter, Amrish ji. I recently went, few days back, I went to Hema ji's birthday bash.
Yeah,
It was such an amazing feeling to be there because everybody from that time came, and they were not carrying anybody with them. They were free flowing of meeting guests, etc. There was a band which was playing. Hema ji was singing. Everybody, Jitendra ji, so many people came. It reminded me that we were having a party in a late 80s or early 90s. There was a warmth. There was relationships. Not that again, I want to say that I'm not passing a judgment in today's time, but in real life also, no, we don't have friends in real life. We have more Facebook friends than real friends. Facebook friends which we do not know even face to face. So my relationship with my friends also, my childhood friends are still there. So it was great. We were all making it. So there was a certain added dimension to it. Whether it was Aamir who was trying to make it, whether it was Shahrukh, who was trying to make it. We were all trying to make it, and there was an extra zeal about life, which I'm sure these people have retained, and I have also retained.
Yeah. Over the body of work that has happened.
Over the body of work means that's why I don't like. People think that it's why is he saying that don't call me a legend and thespian or a veteran. Because I think that's so ridiculous to decide when they think I should become these people. They don't. Shahrukh Khan is 57. They don't call him legend or thespian.
Yeah.
His body of work is also okay. So this classification between a hero and a so-called character actor is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You don't call Salman, अभी हमारे legend Salman Khan आ रहे हैं. But किसी और को बुला देंगे legend, it's rubbish. So I all my life I have tried to when I say fight, I have tried to sort of fight this class division between character actor and hero. I think everybody is a hero. Everybody is basically an actor.
Yeah.
You don't call Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Jack Nicholson character actor. You call them actors.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're an actor. How the fact that you have survived for 30 years as superstars with look at Salman and Akshay and Shahrukh and Aamir, they survived for 30, 40 years, 30 years, which is fantastic. Today's generation has this problem because there are so many other sources of entertainment. So they have to unfortunately deliver with every single project of theirs. They have to be brilliant. पहले तो लगता था कि 13-14 फिल्में नहीं भी आपकी चली या नहीं भी ठीक थी, आप सीख रहे हो. You are learning on the job. Today there is nothing called learning on the job.
Yeah.
You have to be a trained actor.
Yeah. It's not as forgiving.
No. Today's audience is not forgiving at all because everybody has a mobile phone and is on social media. 5 minutes into watching a film and they already say bakwas.
Yeah.
Because they have an authority on that. They have a power in their hand now. So I feel bad for today's generation people because they have to be constantly, but yet I have great respect for them in terms of professionalism, in terms of, they have no choice.
They have to. You have such an interesting view of Bollywood as an industry. Like, you've been part of it, but you also look at it from the outside, right? Like a stretched view.
Yeah.
What is your view on how Bollywood is evolving as an industry today, especially with OTT, which most people think is a blessing because it allows for more talent. But the frills that you're talking about, right? Like whether it's a PR team, a social media team, the teams, the entourage around it. Is it a dichotomy to the work that's happening?
I think you should be comfortable with yourself so that you can deal with ups and downs of life.
Yeah.
If you are today able to keep a team of 10 people, then when you are going through a bad time and that team reduces to 3 people, it gives you a sense of failure. Unnecessary. Because that has not actually, we all go through tough time. If your one interview has not gone bad, that doesn't mean that you are a failure. It's not gone bad. Next, but if you are carrying a burden on your shoulder कि मैं तो हर इंटरव्यू में कमाल कर दूंगी, वो नहीं हो सकता है. It's a law. I feel that the real you are, the better it is to deal with failure, because failure is bound to happen. When I say failure, means what goes up has to come down.
Yeah.
It's either the old age will make you anonymous, you will go walk into a sunset, or things will not work in today's time. I think what has gone through, we've certainly become much more professional. Out of 540 films, I think I have got script for only 30 films. Rest were just narrated to me. So that professionalism has happened. Scripts are coming, departments are there. There are some great things that are also happening. There is a system. People come on time, mostly. There is, but a lot of things are also could have been. The bonding is not there.
Yeah.
रिश्ते नहीं बनते अब इतनी आसानी से. शायद मुझे ऐसा लगता है. बट वो रिश्ते जो हमने बनना, आई हेट टू टॉक अबाउट जब हमारे ज़माने में, बिकॉज मेरा ज़माना अभी भी है ना. आई विल ऑलवेज बी हैपनिंग फॉर माई सेल्फ, बिकॉज आई एम नॉट लेफ्ट माई बीइंग हैपनिंग पर्सन टू अदर्स.
Right.
The day I'm not happening, I will know I'm not happening. So then the world thinks or doesn't think, doesn't matter. But as I said, if I meet Sunny Deol, if I meet all these people, there is Mithun, there is a relationship. But I try to have relationship today. I'm equally friendly with whether it's Aditya Roy Kapoor or whether it is Varun Dhawan or whether it is Tiger Shroff, etc. Because I don't allow them to think of me as senior actor. I think my competition is with them, because for me to keep myself up and going, I don't want to compete with my generation people.
Yeah.
And it's important to have a healthy sense of competition.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. And let's talk a little bit about your personal life. Your lovely wife, Kirron. Let's talk about how you all met. How was
We
your
were best of friends.
Yeah.
In drama school. My first acting course I did from Indian theatre. She was a star at that time. She was the best actress of Punjab University. She used to play badminton for the country, and she was first class first. And she was like somebody who was larger than life. But we were friends, and then we went our own ways. And then I came to Bombay and I did my play with her, because She was married to Gautam and she had Sikandar. And me and Satish Kaushik used to go to her house because we used to get good food to eat there. She used to give us 50 rupees for taxi. And then life took a turn and then we got into it. From friends, we shifted to lovers, and from lovers to husband and wife. And now it's been 39 years we've been married. She's a fantastic actress.
Let's talk about your mother. You have this amazing hashtag called DulariRocks,
Yes.
which we have followed. We've interviewed her also with you. It's fun. The relationship is fun. You can see it. It feels very real, very genuine. It seems like a friendship. How has that equation evolved over time?
So as I told you that my parents were married for 59 years, and then unfortunately my father passed away on the 10th of February 2012. And they were married for so many years. So when you lose your partner or your husband or wife, you don't lose your husband or wife, you lose your partner, you lose your habit, you lose somebody you fight with, you lose somebody you don't get along with, somebody you it's like a it's like a part of your life. So and my mother was the quieter type, and my father was this outgoing person. My father will get into a pictures with me even when I'm taking a picture with my fan. So he will somehow get into it. My father will be traveling in a in a train. He used to hate traveling by air, and he will tell people in the compartment that Anupam Kher is my son. तो they will say, अरे आप क्या बात करते हो, अगर आप वो आपका बेटा होता तो आप फ्लाइट में जाते ना, आप ट्रेन में क्यों जाते. तो he will wake me up at 2:30 in the night and he will say, ये मेरा यकीन नहीं करते हैं इनसे. So he was an extrovertish person. My mother was, मेरे बेटे को नज़र नहीं लगनी चाहिए. So instead of mourning my father's death when he passed away on the Chautha ceremony or whatever the prayer ceremony is, we decided to celebrate his life rather than mourn his death. So we called a rock band and we told people to wear colored clothes and we told to tell funny stories of my father after taking permission from my mother. So my mother on that night said, "Thank you so much for doing it like this because I realized now I was married to a great man." And then I think she opened up and then she became a little more relaxed. And one day I was shooting her when she was talking and I posted it and it became, a lot of people identified with it. So she still feels that तू ये क्या बनाता रहता है, लोग मुझे सड़क पे या सब्जी की दुकान पे या मंदिर में क्यों रोकते हैं और फोटो खिंचाते हैं, मास्क के साथ भी पहचानते हैं. I think she is very real. I think being real is the quality of our family. And I'm so happy that at the age of 85, she is happy.
Yeah.
That's what one wants. And I think even 0.1% people have changed their perception about their parents. We find our parents very boring. This is a cliche kind of a thing. We get embarrassed if our friends come home and our parents are there. So we sort of say that, oh my God, just dad, don't say much. And mom, please, like this. What rubbish.
Yeah.
Means we have friends are 6 months old or 1 year old and you have been brought up by your parents. Why should you run down your parents in front of people who do not matter in your life? So I feel whatever I am today is the blessings of my parents. And I want to talk about her. She's very funny. She's very real. She's also, I think, when a 68-year-old man is scolded by her mother, who has a huge body of work, people have cheap thrills. मारूंगे तेरे को थप्पड़ बकवास कर रहा है. Who can speak to me like that? Only a mother can speak to that. So people identify with her.
Let's talk a little bit about your friendships, the love and friendships. You, Anil Kapoor and Satish Kaushik were three friends together. Do you ever get over a loss like that?
Never.
How do you celebrate his life today?
I will never get over loss. I never. It will never happen. Anywhere I go, I feel I miss him.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Because he was what my parents were to each other. Habit.
Yeah.
You know, calling up from a random. He was always there. Like I was always there for him. I still was a little starry with him. But he was not like that. He had a great sense of giving, And he was always there to listen to how can you replace him, how can you think about. In fact, I hate to talk about this because it still makes me teary-eyed, and it's still sort of, because I feel this was no age to go. He had so many dreams to fulfill. He had so much energy and so much ideas, plans. He was, my father's death had shocked me a lot. Yash Chopra's ji's death had shocked me a lot, and my previous secretary, we used to call them secretaries, not managers at that time, Mr. Shetty. But then after that, but Satish's death has really made me feel very lonely. Very lonely. Anil is a very dear friend. Anil is busy. We don't, even when we are together, we don't talk about him because we know that it will upset
The other person.
the other person. So there is a presence of Satish Kaushik, even if though we are not talking. The moment we are together, we automatically feel the absence of the other person. There was an earlier line I used to always say, sometimes you have to make your presence felt by your absence. In this case, I think he's done it in a big way.
Let's talk a little bit, last few questions about your philosophy. You've mentioned a lot about, how you've evolved as a person, especially your take on failures. You also speak in a very motivational way because, like you mentioned, that other people's stories helped you during your difficult times. What is that one principle that you would say your life is based on after all the learnings, everything? The one thing that...
The possibility of kuch bhi ho sakta hai. I am open to surprises. And I do not say, I don't think even at the age of 100 I will say, this is the way I am. I see a lot of today's generation people say, oh, this is the way I am. The moment you say this is the way I am, that means that's the end of growth.
Yeah.
I'm open to life at any moment. I would like to believe that I have still a sense of wonder about life. I think that's what is most important. If you ask me to advise what you need to have, is that you always need to have a sense of wonder about life. Google can give you information, but it does not translate into knowledge.
Yeah.
Life translates that into knowledge. And the main thing, that I'm not scared of failure.
Yeah.
I am apprehensive, means I get depressed and I get sad when I encounter failure. But I have an amazing quality of bouncing back. And that keeps me alive. Yeah. And I'm an eternal optimist.
So the last question I have is, there are so many youth who go through failure, and
there are so many
youth, our audience who predominantly watches, they go through failure. Right now, it could be different sets of failure, whether it's an exam or whether it's a job or whether it's a failed promotion. This bouncing back ability that you were talking about is very difficult for certain people. What advice would you give them? If
what is the
in that
alternate?
situation?
The alternate is not there. The alternate is give up.
Yeah.
That give up should never be the possibility. And again, going back to what my father said when I was in 9th standard, that failure is an event, never a person. You give up, that means then failure is going to affect you. Technically, अभी ये suppose ये कैमरा फेल हो गया, हमारे पास ये कैमरा है, वो कैमरा, सपोज तीनों कैमरा फेल हो गया, हम चुप हो जाएंगे ना. आपका नुकसान, आपका फेलियर तो नहीं होगा, उनका कैमरामैन का भी नहीं होगा. हम सोचते हैं कि ये जो बीमारी है ना, कि मैं कुछ करके दिखाना चाहता हूँ, और वो फिर जब वो नहीं होता है तो फिर आदमी को लगता है कि ये गड़बड़ हो गई, फिर से शुरुआत होगी ज़िंदगी की. वो as long as somebody, I read it somewhere recently that if I give you about 100 crores of rupees, okay, but the condition is you will not get up in the morning, what will you do?
You won't take it.
You won't take it. So every time you get up in the morning, it's worth 100 crores of rupees. It's as simple as that.
That's amazing. I think we can end on that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
I've learned a lot. I felt like this interview came into my life at the right time because
I also learned a lot. You have a great sense of listening. People don't listen.
Thank you.
So because you listen, you will learn a lot. And because you listen, I could speak a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and excited to watch everything that you're building from here.
I have some great work coming up.
Yeah, so excited for that.
Very excited.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon. Thank you all for being the best community, and I'll see you soon.